There's this one simple truth that really separates the businesses that thrive from all the rest. And it's all about the connection between listening to your customers and actually winning in the long run. So let's dive right in.
All right, let's kick things off with a big question. When you look at a crowded market, what's the real difference between a company that's just good and one that's truly great?
Well, the answer, it turns out, is surprisingly simple, but it's incredibly powerful. The great ones, they're just obsessed with listening. It's like it's baked into their DNA, this corporate obsession with understanding and then acting on what their customers say. Okay, so an obsession with listening sounds great, right? But what does that actually look like in the real world? It all starts with defining the end goal. Let's call it the satisfaction equation. So what are we even talking about here? At its core, customer satisfaction is really just a measurement. It's how you figure out how happy people are with everything you do, your products, your services, the whole shebang. I love this way of looking at it. See, satisfaction isn't some vague, fuzzy feeling. It's the tangible result you get when the experience you deliver actually lines up with what a customer expected or needed. It's all about that perfect match. But, making that happen consistently, that takes more than just good intentions or hoping for the best. You need a guiding philosophy, kind of like a compass for the whole company, that keeps everyone pointed in the exact same direction. And that philosophy, a lot of people call it Total Quality Management, or TQM for short. Now, this isn't just some memo from HR. It's a full-on company-wide strategy where everybody, and I mean everybody, is focused on that one thing, making the customer happy. This was a huge shift from the old way of just checking for mistakes at the end of the line. And this is what's so powerful about it. It completely flips the script on what quality even means. Suddenly, quality isn't something decided by a bunch of engineers in a lab or executives in a boardroom. Nope. The customer becomes the final judge, and their opinion is the only one that truly counts. Okay, so if the customer's the judge, how in the world do you hear their verdict? Well, that's where we get to the heart of it, actually hearing the customer's voice. And that's where this idea of the voice of the customer, or VOC, comes into play. And look, this isn't just about, casually checking your social media mentions. It's a really disciplined, deep dive process for capturing what customers want, what they need, and just as importantly, what they can't stand. The huge takeaway here is the move from just guessing to actually knowing. Think about it. Companies can blow so much time and money building stuff they think people want. VOC basically throws all that guesswork out the window and replaces it with cold, hard, data-driven feedback from real people about what they actually want. But here's the thing. Just hearing the voice isn't enough. You've got to do something with it. There are specific systems designed to do this, where you take something a customer says, like, "Man, I wish this thing was tougher," and you translate that into technical instructions your engineers can actually use to build a tougher product.
Right, so that all sounds pretty good on paper. But how do you actually do it? Let's get practical and look at the actual toolkit you can use to capture that crucial customer feedback.
We're going to break down 3 really effective strategies that companies use to get a clear signal from all that noise. First strategy. Look at your rivals. Seriously, analyzing your competitors is a fantastic way to figure out what the bare minimum expectations are in your market. You can test their stuff, talk to their customers, and find out what people already love. Or, even better, you find something that everyone complains about with their product, and boom, that's your opening. All right, number 2, you have got to get out of the building. There is absolutely no substitute for actually seeing a customer use your product in the real world in their own space. You'll see them struggle with something they might not even know how to describe in a survey, and you'll spot needs they didn't even know they had. And strategy number 3? Listen to your own people. The folks on your front lines, your sales reps, your support team, your technicians, they are an absolute goldmine of customer feedback. They hear it all, every single day. The trick is just making sure there's a real, official way for all that amazing insight to get back to the people who can actually make changes. Okay, so you've done the work, you've listened, you've gathered the data, you've made changes. So what? What's the big payoff? Well, it all leads to the holy grail, customer loyalty. When you strip everything else away, this whole process we've been talking about, it boils down to one single, powerful goal, creating a perfect match between what you offer and what your customer truly needs. This visual here, it's called the Tabbouleh model, and it shows this idea so perfectly. That square, that's what your company is offering, and the circle, that's what the customer actually needs. The magic happens in that sweet spot where they overlap, and your job
is to make that overlapping area as big as you possibly can.
So here's the payoff right here. When you nail that overlap again and again, you get satisfied customers. And that satisfaction? That's what builds real, genuine loyalty. Loyal customers are the engine of a healthy business. They come back, they tell their friends about you, and that's what builds a profitable business for the long haul.
I love this quote because it just gets right to the heart of this whole idea. It sounds totally backward, right? But the fastest way to make money isn't to chase money. It's to focus like a laser on making your customers happy. You do that, and the profits, they'll take care of themselves.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Think about the brands you really love. Which ones make you feel like they actually hear you? And more importantly, what is it that they do to create that feeling? It's a really powerful thing to think about.